Hello, 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 and welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about my hysterectomy update, post-op update, I should say, because yesterday marked 1 year since I've had my hysterectomy. So I'm going to tell you all about my experience, what to expect, because I know some people are out there probably about to have a hysterectomy or they're going through it right now and they need some information. And the first place they turn to is YouTube. Same thing I did when I was going through my hysterectomy. I came on YouTube, got the information I needed, and we're going to jump right on into it. So I don't want women to go freaking out when you see some of these videos. People are telling you, you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that. You don't need all those things. And it's easy for you to order it after the surgery is done and you get home and you realize what you do need. There are some things you're definitely going to need. There are some things that's just nice to have. Some things are just a little added bonus, but you don't really you don't really have to have them. You can recover really nicely at home without them. So I'm going to say the things you must have, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I got when I packed for the hospital and things that I got when I was getting ready to prepare for my hysterectomy. So you're going to need a basket. Any type of little basket, not a huge basket, but a basket you can keep on your bed or on your nightstand next to you with all the supplies and things that you need. Maybe some peppermint tea. I'm gonna go down the list. I have peppermint tea. You're gonna need some gas X, anything to remove the gas, because when they do a hysterectomy, they blow your stomach up with air, and all that air has to come back out. So you're definitely gonna need gas pills. You're gonna need maybe peppermint gum or peppermint candy or peppermint tea for the stomach cramps, because you will have some cramping. I used ginger chews because those work better for me. Of course, go by what works best for you, but these are the things that work best for me as I was recovering. Miralax to get your bowels moving, because I know when I was in the hospital, they made me have a bowel movement before I was able to go home. And you might want some Ricola because you're going to have a sore throat. Right after the surgery is over, your throat's going to be a little sore because of the tube and everything that was inserted. So I will say this. The surgery itself, for me, it was not that bad. And I think I said this in the prior video. I wasn't really so concerned about the surgery, although I should have been, because it is major surgery. I wasn't so much worried about the surgery as I was the recovery. And please excuse my voice. I just had a coughing attack before I did this video. But I was more concerned about the recovery because I had an ovary removed prior to my hysterectomy. So I already knew what kind of pain it was going to be. Then when I had the surgery and they removed everything, they took both of my ovaries are gone, my fallopian tubes, my uterus, my cervix, everything. They left me with nothing. I'm completely wiped out. But it wasn't that bad. I was more concerned with what's going to happen to my body after the surgery. What are some things that I'm going to go through after I start recovering? What is life going to be like post hysterectomy? And my pain was pretty much managed well in the hospital. I did end up staying for 3 days, which is, and a hysterectomy is usually you can go home. Some people go home the same day. I was not one of those people. Some people stay in there maybe 1 or 2 days. I was in there for 3, only because during the surgery, they scratched my colon, or they ripped it. Something happened with my colon, and they needed me to have a bowel movement before I could go home to prove that I wasn't going to bleed or, die trying to go to the bathroom. So there was no exceptions. I had to have a bowel movement before I could leave. I got so frustrated with being in the hospital that I just took the Docalax, and no, it's not recommended. I'm not telling anybody else to do this. Please don't get me wrong. This is what I did because I just was tired of being in the hospital. I felt sicker in the hospital than I did at home. Once I left the hospital and I got home, I started feeling so much better. But while I was at the hospital, I was nauseous. I felt sick to my stomach. I just needed to get home in a different environment, in my own bed, and I was able to recover nicely. So you will need a nightstand if you don't have one. You're going to need a little table by your bed, something to keep all the essentials next to you, because you're not going to want to keep getting up and down. That's the first thing. Number two, you are going to have to walk after your surgery. It's not recommended, it is mandatory. You have to walk, because if you don't walk, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. All that gas that's in you that hasn't come out yet is going to back up in you, and it's going to hurt like all heck. You don't want that kind of pain. You have not felt pain till you have felt this type of gas pain. Trust me, walking is the best thing. You don't have to walk around the block. You don't have to do that. But when I came home, when I was at the hospital, I walked around the floor that I was on. I would get up, walk out the room, and just walk around the hospital floor and come back to my room. When I got home, I would get up out my bed, walk to the kitchen, maybe walk, downstairs. Well, I couldn't go downstairs at the time. I stayed up on the first floor, but I was able to walk around, and then I went and I sat back down. But it's imperative that you do get up and walk, because if you don't get up and walk, you are going to suffer. And you are going to regret it. And you can't say I didn't tell you, because I'm warning you now. You were warned. Be forewarned. Be forewarned. Okay? So there are some essentials that you are going to need. One of them is a nightgown that buttons down the front. If you have some, that's fine. If you don't, Amazon has some nice ones. I found some. I think they were like, at the time, I didn't check before I did this video, so don't quote me. But at the time, they were $19. And I got a pack of 2, I think. I believe it was 2. But I got 2 packs. And so I have like 4 of them. So I got some nightgowns that button down the front. You also are going to need underwear one size bigger, because your belly is going to swell. When you come home from the hospital, your belly's going to be swollen. It's not going to look like you're pregnant, but you are definitely going to, it's noticeable swelling. You are going to need underwear a size bigger, because your regular underwear may not fit. The ice pack pillow. Where is it? I showed it once before in my other video. I don't know what I did with it. I don't know what I did with it. But once I'll put it up. I'll put a picture of it up. You can insert an ice pack into the back of the pillow, and you hold the pillow just like this on your belly, and it makes you feel better. The ice helps the swelling to go down, and trust me, you're welcome. You're going to thank me later. You're welcome. I was told, some of the videos that I watched said you should get a pillow to go across your lap for when you're coming home from the hospital, because the seatbelt goes across your incision. But you know what? I didn't need it. I had a belly band from the hospital. The hospital gave me a belly band. So please don't go buy one from Amazon, because the hospital give you one. Now, unless you just want to change it, that's fine. I ordered one from Amazon thinking that I wasn't going to get one from the hospital, and I had to send it back because I didn't need it. So wait to see if the hospital more than likely is going to give you one, because they gave me one. And I wore it home and just kept it. You can wash it and then put it back on if anything gets on it. So I don't think you really need to go buy another one unless you just want to have more than one. What did I not mention? The belly binder, the basket. And that was basically it. You don't really need, a wedge pillow. You don't, okay, let's put this out there. You don't need a wedge pillow. It's nice to have. It helped me a lot. I had the set that I had came like a 4-piece set, I think. And you had a pillow for your knees. You had a pillow to go under your knees or between your legs, so you could keep your legs separated, keep your knees from touching. So it was nice to have, and it was nice that you could lean back and not have to lay all the way down, because you don't want to lay flat. It's not the best position to sleep in when you first come home. You do want to be able to have your head a little raised. So a wedge pillow is helpful. I had one of those, And that was basically all the stuff that I got. I mean, of course, I got things to do to keep me occupied in the hospital, like maybe a crossword or a Sudoku book or whatever. But you don't need to have those things if because some people just they have their phone to keep them occupied. And honestly, I slept more than anything else. I didn't even the stuff that I bought with me to keep me company or to keep me occupied. I didn't even use them. 'Cause I didn't have time. I slept a lot. When I wasn't sleeping, I just was not in the mood to be bothered. I just wanted to be left alone. And then after the surgery, I did notice some things, like maybe a month into the surgery, after the surgery, I noticed that there was some bleeding, some light bleeding. And my doctor told me it wasn't nothing to worry about. It wasn't nothing serious because it's common. You know, you just had a surgery. There may be some bleeding, but as long as I wasn't gushing and it wasn't filling up pads, there was really nothing for me to worry about. Um, I did have a loss of appetite. I did lose my appetite for a little while. I mean, I ate, but it wasn't like I was before the surgery. That does come back. It will come back. It's just, your body has to get accustomed. I did lose some weight because of the fibroids that I was carrying around with me when I was before the surgery. Of course, they were gone, so I did drop a couple of pounds. And that just is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. So I don't want you going saying, oh, she said we're going to lose weight. No. Some people will, some people won't. Some people, your fibroids may not be, excuse me, may not be that big. So you may not lose that much weight, but mine was sizable, so I did lose a couple of pounds. And that was basically it. If you're like me and you have a complete hysterectomy where they take everything out, your body will go into complete menopause. There are sites to help women like me. They don't talk about menopause a lot, and there's a site called Hyster Sisters. You can go there, and it's on Facebook. It's a group for people who are going through hysterectomies, who have had hysterectomies, who talk about their struggles, what they're going through. They may give you some ideas. If you haven't had a hysterectomy yet, it might not be the best idea for you to go on there before you do, because there are some horror stories, and it might just scare you. But it was for me, it was one of the best things I could have done. Sometimes I look back and I say I regret it because I didn't know the situation my body would be in after menopause. But I'm gonna go through menopause anyway. I'm in my 50s, so I was gonna go through it regardless. But I wasn't expecting it to hit me at such a fast pace like it did. I wasn't expecting to go through all the symptoms at one time. And I think that's what, threw me for a loop, having to deal with being a little bit depressed, hot flashes, just change in mood, night sweats, just a feeling of being alone a lot, just feeling really lonely. Even though I had a house full of people, I still felt alone, like I was going through this by myself, and I didn't really have anyone to talk to because none of my other sisters had gone through a hysterectomy yet. I mean, had gone through a menopause yet, so it was new for me, and it was a lonely period. But there are groups out there. Hyster Sisters is just one of them. There are other groups out there now that menopause is being talked about more by celebrities and by other people. It's getting more airplay and more people are talking about it. So you should be able to get a support group someplace else. Besides just being on YouTube, you'll see different things. But please, if you feel like you need to talk to someone about menopause, or if you feel like you're going to go through menopause when you have your hysterectomy, get a support group. Because if you don't really have like someone to talk to who's been through it before, it might be a little difficult for you. So that's all I have. If you have any questions about my hysterectomy experience or any questions regarding menopause that I could answer for you, I'm more than happy. I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide. I'll tell you what I know. I'll share my information with you, and what you do with it from there is up to you. But I'll tell you what worked for me. Again, all of these things that I just told you today, they worked for me. I'm not saying they're going to work for everybody else. I'm not saying that everybody else is going to have the same experience as me, because I know they won't. But at least it'll give you something to hold on to, something to look forward to, something so you can say, okay, well, you know, maybe it's not that bad. Okay? Until next time, talk to you later. Bye.